My name is Hayley Andrews. You're watching At Home with Hayley. If someone could just pop in the chat box that you can hear me loud and clear, and we'll get started with today's show. I had a bit of a panic attack earlier because normally when we come on and before I go live, it says the number of people that are registered for the event. Today that was 0. So I was kind of panicking, thinking, oh my God, it's never been 0 before, but it's actually just shot up to 720. So that's great. I did think perhaps this Friday and the week I've had as well, a week from hell, roller coaster of a week, ups and downs, lots of really highs and some really lows as well. I kind of thought, that's it, everybody's just decided not to bother turning up today. But we are here, we're live. I can see you're coming through. Good morning, everyone. Lots of people from different parts of the world. We've got Sweden, Australia, Hong Kong, UK, Dudley. Hi, Melissa. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna jump in and get started with today's show. So thank you for joining me. I cannot believe it's June already. I am a June baby, so I'm a year older this time, although I stopped counting at 39, so I'm not sure it makes any difference anymore. But we are in episode 74. I can see from some of the names that are coming through that majority of you, well, I can't see all of the names, but I can see that a lot of familiar names on there. But there's also quite a few names that I've never seen before. So for those that are tuning in for the first time, we are in the 74th episode. You can go back onto our YouTube channel and watch all of the episodes. While we do deliver these sessions live, we do record them and put them onto YouTube as well. So that is Your Freedom Empire's YouTube. But I am, of course, Hayley Andrews. This is At Home with Hayley, and we are a forever free webinar where we talk all things property. We do sometimes have guests on the show, and they will be talking about the industry and the services and products that they can provide to help you within your business. And of course, we do a market update as well. So I have a market update for you today. But before I jump into that, just a little bit about me. I have been in the industry now for over a couple of decades. So since 2002, I've been a landlord. I am an investor and developer. I own construction company, estate and lettings agency, a sourcing division, a training organisation. So I'm very much a business owner. I'm very much across most things property. I own a mixed portfolio. So I've done every strategy you could possibly think of: lease options, rent to rent, serviced accommodation, hotels, commercial to residential, commercial in multiple occupation, conversions, distress, listed buildings, car parks, and pretty much everything else you can think of as well. And so my portfolio consists of both residential and commercial across car parks, schools, bars, restaurants, hotels, HMOs, factories, serviced accommodation, and yes, again, a very mixed bag in my portfolio. But that's enough about me. So I'm going to give you, it's a short one today. Given the week I've had, we've got a very short update, but it's short but to the point. So today I'm going to talk to you about the leasehold reform. I'm going to talk to you about the general election, house price index, and how the general election may actually have an impact on, obviously, the housing market and what we believe that impact may have. And then, of course, a few other things like interest rates, rental, and things like that. So it's an in-depth market update, but it's just short. Keeping it short and sweet this month. So I'm going to jump off camera. I'm just going to check the chat box. Everybody can hear me loud and clear. Yep, everyone's saying hi. There's a few extra countries on here as well. So we're usually across 18, 19 different countries. We're about 22 today, which is fantastic. So I'm going to jump off camera now and I'm going to go into the market update. Feel free to ask questions in the chat box. After the market update, I will go through some of the events that we've got coming up and some of the events that you can be part of as well. So awards ceremonies and things like that. So make sure you stay tuned. Yeah, let's get on with the market update. So things we're going to discuss then, as I said, is leasehold reform, the general election, how the market will be affected, and the demand for which is quite unusual and something I've not seen before in my lifetime in property, but the uptick in demand for portfolio buyers as well, which is quite interesting. So I'm going to start with the leasehold reform and what's in the leasehold bill. This was rushed through Parliament, which usually isn't a good thing. I'm going to highlight the changes and what impact they will have, and also highlight what's missing and still left to be defined as well. So there were 9 points pushed through. So let's start with the extended lease terms. So the standard lease extension term will now be 990 years for both houses and flats, up from the current 50 years for houses and 90 years for flats. As we're talking about leaseholds as well, I predominantly buy freehold, and while I create leases, retain the freehold, and do title splits and things like that, I don't predominantly I don't usually buy leasehold properties. I'll create them, but I don't buy them. So let me know in the chat box if you are buying leasehold properties, reasons behind that. I'm not saying stay away from leasehold. I do buy leasehold properties, but just not in volume. I predominantly would buy freehold. But as we are talking about leasehold, I'll jump back into the points that we were talking about. So one of those 9 points was the extended lease term, and we have now gone from the 50 years for flats and 50 years for houses and 90 years for flats, up to that 990. So point number 2 then was streamlined the home buying process. So this was another thing that was passed. There will be a maximum time and fee set for providing home buyers and selling information for leasehold properties. Number 3 was transparency in service charges. So this was definitely needed. So leaseholders will get a greater transparency over service charges. Freeholders or managing agents must issue bills in a standardised format. Number 4 was easier building management. So it's now easier and cheaper for leaseholders to take over the management of their buildings and appoint their own managing agent as well. Challenging poor practices has been improved, so leaseholders will have extended access to claim schemes to challenge poor practices. Rights for homeowners on private estates, so homeowners on private and mixed tenure estates will have greater ability to challenge the charges they pay. Ban on the new leasehold houses. So the sale of new leasehold houses is banned. So except in exceptional circumstances, making every new house in England and Wales freehold from the start. So number 8 is simplified lease extensions and freehold purchases. So the requirement for new leaseholds has to have owned so usually you would have to have owned the property for 2 years. So before you're able to extend or buying the freehold, that has been removed. So there's no 2-year term on there any longer, which is great. So number 9 was increased in non-residential limit as well. So leaseholders in buildings with up to 50% non-residential floor space can now buy their freehold, and that's up from the previous 25%. So that's what was included. So what's not included in the bill? The ground rent for existing leaseholders. So ground rent for existing leaseholders remains unchanged. It has not been reduced to the peppercorn rent or capped at the 250 as previously suggested by the government. Another thing that wasn't included and still needs to be defined is no ban on leasehold forfeiture. So there is no ban on the forfeiture of long residential leases, meaning freeholders can still possess or repossess, a flat for the debt of £350. So 2 very important parts of that leasehold reform that was not included in the recent bill that's been pushed through. So now that we've outlined the key points of the new leasehold bill, let's discuss how these changes might impact the market and those that are looking to buy leasehold properties or sell leasehold properties. So extended lease terms then. So the extension of lease terms of the 990 years for houses and flats will significantly increase the value of these properties. So buyers will be more attracted to properties with nearly perpetual leases, which will reduce the uncertainty and financial burden associated with shorter lease terms. This will likely boost the overall market appeal of leasehold properties. So if you are holding leasehold properties currently, then you may see an uplift in the value of those properties as a result of the changes that have been made. So streamlined home buying process as well. I'm just going through these in the same order and the impact that they would have. So by setting a maximum time and a fee for providing home buying and selling information, the process will become more efficient and transparent. This can speed up transactions and reduce costs for buyers and sellers, making the market more dynamic and accessible. Transparency in service charges, so greater transparency in service charges will empower leaseholders, helping them to understand and challenge costs. This could lead to a more equitable and fair market, as leaseholders will be better informed and about what they're paying basically and why. So easier building management, so making it easier and cheaper for leaseholders to take over the management of their buildings will likely lead to better maintained properties. Leaseholders who manage their own buildings are more likely to act in their own best interests, improving conditions and value of those properties as well. So challenging poor practices, so extending access to claims schemes will deter poor practices by freeholders and managing agents. This could lead to a higher standard of property management and maintenance, benefiting leaseholders and enhancing the overall quality of the market. Rights for homeowners on private estates, so homeowners on private and mixed tenure estates gaining more ability to challenge charges will lead to fairer pricing, of course, and fairer practices, hopefully. This will make these properties more attractive to potential buyers who are wary of hidden excessive fees, etc. So giving greater control there is definitely a win. So ban on new leasehold houses. So banning the sale of new leasehold houses will likely increase the supply of freehold homes, of course, which are generally more desirable to buyers. As I said, I predominantly focus on buying freehold as well, and that's just me. This could, of course, lead to a shift in the market, with more buyers seeking out freehold properties, driving up demand and possibly prices for these homes as well. So simplified lease extensions and freehold purchases. So removing the 2-year ownership requirement for lease extensions and freehold purchases will make it easier for new owners to secure their property rights. This is, of course, a massive bonus. This could encourage more investment in leasehold properties, as buyers will have more flexibility and control from the outset and from ownership. Increase non-residential limit. So raising the non-residential limit to 50% for leaseholders to buy their freehold will open up opportunities for more leaseholders in mixed-use buildings to gain full ownership. So this could lead to a more mixed-use development and increase the appeal of such properties. So unchanged ground rents for the existing leaseholders. The decision not to reduce the cap ground rent for existing leaseholders might disappoint some, definitely disappointed me, potentially affecting the perceived fairness and attractiveness of leasehold properties. This could create a 2-tier market where newer leaseholds are seen as more favourable. So no ban on the forfeiture on the lease forfeitures. So the absence of a ban on this might continue to create risks for leaseholders, possibly affecting the desirability of long-term residential leases. Buyers may remain cautious, especially in cases where minor debts can lead to significant repercussions. Overall, the leasehold bill introduces several positive changes, I think, and I'm sure you'll agree. If you don't, please pop in the chat box. But the changes that could make the market more transparent, fair and attractive to buyers. However, the impact on existing leaseholders and the continued presence of ground rent and the lease forfeiture risk could temper these benefits. So time will tell. The long-term effects will depend on how these changes are implemented and perceived by market participants. So let's look at the potential. That's enough of the leasehold bill, but hopefully you found that interesting. And for those that are focusing or own leasehold properties, definitely something that you need to be aware of and keep up to date with. So now let's have a look at the potential impact of the upcoming general election, which has been brought forward. So on the housing market, covering everything from landlords and tenants, we'll discuss that now. So if we move on to the general election, what a general election could mean for the housing market, let's cover that off. So Labour has indicated strong support for a ban on no-fault evictions for tenants. This move, coupled with pressure on the party to allow councils to introduce rent caps in certain areas, could reshape the rental landscape. So housing experts are divided on what Labour's victory would mean. Uncertainty is definitely in the air, I would say. Some argue that the new protections for tenants could be bad news for landlords, potentially leading to reduced rental property investments. Others believe a win for Keir Starmer could facilitate a housing market reset, prioritising the construction of much-needed new homes. Labour has also signalled intentions to overhaul planning controls to promote house building, including the creation of and series of new towns. We'll hear lots and lots of different things coming out of the woodwork now. on the lead up to the general election. I'm going to I'm not sitting on the fence. I'm Conservative voter all the way. I don't believe the grass is greener, and while I normally wouldn't kind of push that on anyone, that's just my opinion. It's not. As a business owner and as someone that has been in the industry a really long time, the grass, in my opinion, definitely isn't greener, and I will be voting Conservative. However, this is impartial, and or should be, I guess. Scratch that. Might have to edit that section out. But let's look at it on of course, all sides. So let's just have a look now for UK house prices and rental inflation, and in line with this topic that we're talking about. So the UK housing market has shown signs of revival, according to the Office for National Statistics, so ONS. Average house prices increased by 1.8% over the 12 months leading up to March, lifting the average house price to £283,000. This is the first rise since June of the previous year, so June 2023, indicating a potential turnaround in the property market. At the same time, rent price inflation has now started to slow as well. ONS Chief Economist Grant Fritzer noted that house prices saw an annual rise in every nation and region except for London and the southeast, with Scotland experiencing the fastest growth. In England, average house prices rose from 1% to 299,000, while in Wales they increased by 1.3% to 214,000. Scotland saw a significant 6.7% rise to 192,000, and Northern Ireland, an average house prices for the first quarter of 24 were up 4% to 178,000 compared to the same period last year. And of course, that's important because you do have seasonal changes. So when you are comparing statistics, you always need to make sure that you are taking into account those, of course, seasonal changes as well. So despite interest rates being a 16-year high, it's still at 5.25%. There is optimism due to prospect of rate cuts later this summer. Personally, I think towards the back end of the year, I don't think that we're going to see interest rates come down significantly anytime soon. So I definitely, as I said, 12 months ago, get used to the higher interest rates. As long as you're stress testing at the higher interest rates, the deals stack up, you're good to go. It's not about waiting for interest rates to come down. It's about investing in deals that absorb those higher interest rates and stress tests, and are still good, viable deals. It's not about time in the marketplace, it's about time in the market, and the real wealth with property is holding property long term, in my opinion. So just on that then, with rates cuts, with most people thinking, well, rates cuts are going to fall, we have already seen that this has led to a decline in mortgage rates for from the late 2023 peak. However, mortgage rates remain in considerable burden for many houses. So interest rates are still quite high for most people, and a lot of people are waiting for those interest rates to come down, which is why you've had a drop-off in the mortgage applications. So Sarah Cole, head of personal finance at Hargreave Lansdowne, commented, I think this was through Property Wire, but I just pulled this comment out. So buyers have finally squeezed some growth out of the property market, and they haven't exactly set this on fire, she said, but they've definitely warmed it up, and enough to push prices into positive territory again for the first time in almost a year. So if we look at rental inflation on the back of that as well, the ONS also reported a 8.9% increase in private rents in the UK for the 12 months to April. So this is a slight slowdown and from 9.2% growth seen in the previous 12 months. Making the first easing of rental inflation December 2023. Average rents increased by 8.9% to 1,293 in England. I definitely need to review my rents at the moment, I think, and by 8.2% to 730 in Wales, and by 10% to 952 in Scotland. In Northern Ireland, rents rose by 10.4% over the 12 months to February. Mr. Fitzer, again, we'll get another comment from him. He highlighted that after 2 years of unprecedented and generally accelerating growth, private rental prices are showing signs of easing. Most nations and England regions saw a slowdown with a notable easing in London. Despite this, London continued to experience the highest rent inflation among English regions with a 10.8% rise year on year, though this is down from a record high of 11.2% the previous month. So in conclusion then of the general election and what we've spoken about and house prices, the impact it might have on rent and of course the housing market, interest rates and the slowdown of mortgage applications for those that are sitting on the fence waiting for interest rates to drop. If we look at a conclusion, the potential impact of the general election on the housing market is indeed multifaceted with that's a mouthful on a Friday morning, isn't it? With significant implications for both landlords and tenants, of course. So Labour's proposed changes could introduce new challenges for landlords, potentially leading to reduced investment in rental properties and increased regulatory burdens as well. In contrast, I guess Conservative victory could offer more stability for landlords and promote policies that encourage property investments and developments. This approach may better support a balanced market, most would say, ensuring that both tenants' protection and landlord rights are taken into account. As always, we'll keep you updated with the latest developments, so stay tuned for more on how these changes might unfold and, of course, how they may affect us in the property industry. I'm sure that this will be a topic for future episodes too. So I'm going to wrap the market update up there. We've gone into half an hour, actually. I wasn't expecting it to be that long, but when I start talking sometimes, so those that know me know that it will be it's hard to get me to stop. I can't see any questions in the chat box. Feel free to pop questions in the chat box if you do have any questions, general questions as well. It doesn't have to be about the market update. It can be questions in general also. Moving on, hopefully you enjoyed that. Moving on to events that we have. We have Hard Hats to Heels, which is our female property networking event. It is live. We're not live streaming this to our international audience yet, although we will be. So those that have been reaching out to me to say when are we going to live stream the event, that is something we're working on in the background. And we want to make sure that you get good quality out of attending the event virtually as well as live. So those of you that are international will be able to join this. Of course, it is of an evening, so it's 6:15 to 9:15 of an evening UK time. That's something that you may have to take into account. But the sessions will be recorded as well for those that are international, and you will be able to, of course, watch the speakers and the event at your own leisure or join us live. So the next event is on the 12th of July. That is, of course, at Your Freedom Empire, which is our training organisation and headquarters in Dudley. So it is a live event. For those that haven't booked on, make sure you do. The QR code is on screen. It is a phenomenal group of women. We have two awesome guest speakers. So we have the wonderful Michelle Carnes, who is just a trailblazer in the industry and a real good solid woman to look up to and truly inspirational. And we have the wonderful local Sarah Harvey, who I've got an awful lot of time for. She goes out there and gets it done. Really looking forward to hearing her speech as well, and I'm sure it will be a very informative and informational same thing, inspirational evening, let's say. So if you are female, sorry guys, this is for the girls. Make sure you join us on the next event, which is the 12th of July. Then we also have, and this is actually this Saturday, there are a few tickets left if you want to join. This will be a room full of investors, developers. It will be a fantastic networking opportunity. It is not to be missed. The lineup, so there's only a picture of me on here, but that's because my team are biased and they always put me out. But the lineup of speakers at this event, I'm excited to just be part of the event and be part of the panel, and I will most certainly be in the audience outside of me speaking, taking notes on all of these keynote speakers. It is the most phenomenal lineup and the best lineup for any event I have seen for a really, really long time, and perhaps I have ever seen. So if you don't have your tickets, why not jump on the link here and grab your tickets for the event, which is on the 15th of June. That is in Milton Keynes. They've just reminded me I haven't booked my hotel yet. Yes, definitely put that on my to-do list for today. Book hotel. But hopefully I'll see some of you there. And if not, if you don't have a ticket, you can still grab a ticket. Then we have the Property Investor Awards. So I am a judge on the Property Investor Awards. I've been a judge for a good number of years now. I always attend this event. I thoroughly enjoy being part of the judging process and seeing and celebrating all of the wins for you guys. So people that we may have trained or come across in the past, anyone at all that is in the industry that has got something to shout about. There are lots of different categories, and every single one of them are fabulous. The nominations are open still. You can apply, and hopefully I'll be judging you on that category. But if you would like to join us, so if you're a bit like me and you never put yourself forward for nominations and you're kind of just busy in the background, perhaps just doing, I'd much rather judge than be up for an award. So if you're a bit more like that, but you want to be part of a fabulous networking event, there will be over 1,000 people in the room, top quality entertainment, excellent food, and just really great energy in the room. So from a networking perspective, if you don't have a ticket, why not? Again, this is the place to be. You are full of industry experts, best in their field, winners that are out there every day doing this. So surround yourself with the right people, and this is definitely the right people. We do have a couple of tables, or actually a few tables. So if anybody wants to come and join us and be part of our guest list, please feel free to pop an email to admin@Your Freedom Empire, and we'll get you added to that guest list, and you can come and sit at the table with me. Be lovely to see some of you. And then, of course, last night, although I watched on Sky, and then I switched to YouTube because it appeared to be better quality. I'm not sure what was going on there. But last night we had the first episode of Series 7. Now, I'm always super nervous when the episodes go out and the new series are aired. But I got over that last night with a glass of wine. I did watch this live, and it is a superb. It is the best yet, and if you're not watching it, you definitely need to. The replay will be on our YouTube channel later on today, so that is Your Freedom Empire. For those that don't have Sky or perhaps didn't watch live, you can catch up on our YouTube channel. This is every Thursday for the next 5 weeks at 8 o'clock on Sky Channel 186, or premiered also live over on Property TV's YouTube channel. And you will find it the day after on our YouTube channel, and of course on Property Elevator's website as well. And then Property TV also do a property question time. I haven't actually been on the show for a really long time, and I probably should take this slide out. But if you want to watch any past episodes, you can pop onto our YouTube channel. There's lots of informative information on there. Lots of, again, phenomenal guests, all with different opinions and views on the market and strategies, etc., different ways of doing things. So it's always a really good way just to hear different opinions of people that are, again, out there actively doing it in the industry. And then, of course, we have our Property Success Convention. This is a free training. It is jam-packed full of property content. The information and delivery of our Property Success Convention, which we actually provide for free, is what most training organisations charge you for. And I don't mean charge you for £10 to join an event. I mean charging you thousands of pounds. So if you haven't joined this, you really should. Even if you are in the industry, we have people that are, have come through and done training with other training organisations. They've maybe purchased a few properties, got less than 10, moving into different strategies. This is a jam-packed full informational day. Jump on this. It's definitely not to be missed. You can scan the QR code on screen now, and you can join the next Property Success Convention. You will learn all you need to know, or the fundamentals about every single strategy, why we use those strategies, research, structure, tax, finance. Everything is in there. So you'll have a whale of a time. I always say, make sure you bring an extra pair of socks, because we're going to knock your socks off. I've got my dad jokes on today, haven't I? I think I'm in a silly mood today, maybe because it's Friday and I perhaps had one too many glasses of wine last night enjoying Property Elevator. But also probably glad that it is Friday, because I have had a week from hell, and I'm definitely not doing anything this weekend. So you won't catch me back on the scene until Monday now. And then just to kind of wrap up, we do offer a free consultation call with a YFE mentor. That could be me or one of the rest of the team. And it is a free 30-minute consultation call. So it's not a sales pitch or anything like that. We can discuss training if that's what you would like to move forward with. We can discuss your current situation. We can discuss your strengths, your weaknesses, and of course, your current situation. So it is free. It is 30 minutes. If you would like to book a call, you can scan the QR code on screen, or you can pop along to our website under the Education Hub, under the option menu, and book a call in with a YFE mentor. But thank God it's Friday. I nearly said something else then. There's a smile on my face. I have a hell of a lot to do today, and definitely will be working over the weekend, because you know me, I'm a workaholic. However, my phone is going to be off. Do not try and call me. do not try and book a call in with me on Saturday or Sunday. The earliest is the Monday. And I'm going to say have an awesome month. There's going to be a lot going on this month. I'm sure next month's update is going to be a lot longer than the 30 minutes and a lot more in depth. If you would like us to talk about anything specific, or you'd like us to have a specific industry expert on or guest, please do let us know. This is forever free. It is for you. We're here in our 74th episode because you're watching. So we want to make sure that we're delivering what you want to see and hear. So please feel free to pop an email through to admin@yourfreedomempire, and we'll take all of your notes into consideration and make sure that we're delivering what you want to watch. But I'm going to say, have an awesome Friday, an excellent month. I will see you again next month, but goodbye for now.